Hey. What up, Love Integration Portal members? So, today in our live session, we are tapping into spiritual communication during this most recent Mercury retrograde, which we are still going through. And, we've gone through a lot about like nervous system regulation, grounding into the new timeline. And Mercury retrograde, historically, as you probably already know, has always been about that reflective period. And sometimes people feel like, oh, retrograde is disrupting my life, my computer, and my computer's glitchy, my communication is glitchy, all these things. But when we really think about it, retrograde historically has been moving backwards to reveal and revisit things that aren't serving us or just help us to see what's happening in our lives in the background. It's also come to help retrieve old pieces of ourselves that may have been stuffed down or silenced during harder seasons of our life. Historically, that's what Mercury retrogrades have done. They've also like helped us kind of look at and see what blockages are happening, where our energy might be leaking at, what things we need to do to support our nervous system and holding more. But this Mercury retrograde is a completely different beast. Okay, it's completely different. And this is why I wanted to have our live session in the portal be about this one in particular because it's such a different energy. And I hope you can hear me okay. I have the fan going on in the background, and sometimes I can add a little bit of background noise. But, child, when I tell you it is hot, it's hot, it's hot. So, past retrogrades, they've asked us what still needs to be shed, what can't you hold no more, what needs to be revisited, etc. However, because of what's been happening astrologically in the skies, especially with Jupiter, because Jupiter is that big daddy papa far away planet that is about expansion and expansion in all of the areas of your life. So Jupiter for a while has been in Cancer, and during this retrograde, Jupiter has transitioned from Cancer into Leo. So while Jupiter was in Cancer, it expanded our emotional capacity. It expanded our ability to see where we are holding grief, hurt, happiness, joy, and how we are processing our emotions. It also expanded our nervous system's ability to hold more. It helped our heart to process more and welcome in more. So, Jupiter in Cancer, Cancer is the sign of the emotions and also of the home energy. So, Jupiter expanded our capacity for home relationships, emotions. It like said, okay, we are breaking open that heart space towards love, capacity, emotional, and how is your body able to handle that? How is your nervous system able to handle that? Which is why we've been so aligned with doing all this nervous system regulation work within the portal. So now that Jupiter has done its job in Cancer and we have been right along with it, whether knowingly or unknowingly, now that it's done that, we've shifted into Leo season. Technically, we're currently in Leo season, and Jupiter has now transitioned into Leo. And the beautiful thing about Jupiter being in Leo is it's now expanding our courage to be seen, our courage to be on stage. It's still working within the heart because Leo is big heart energy. Like Leos lead with their heart. They love big. They are unafraid to be on the stage and be seen. They're unafraid to share what needs to be shared. They are the main characters, like the biggest of biggest main characters. And so with us now having Jupiter in Leo, it leads us into knowing that we are able to expand and be more comfortable being seen, especially because we've learned nervous system regulation techniques so that when we are expanding and being seen, if we get fearful or doubtful, we have all of the techniques to regulate our bodies, to regulate our system so that we can stand on stage and know that we're safe. Our body knows that we're safe. So, the reason why I'm bringing all this up is because with that being known, that now with Jupiter expanding our comfortability with being seen and being on stage and expressing ourselves fully, more authentically, that work with the heart in Jupiter, when Jupiter was in Cancer, that work with the heart helps us show up more authentically because we are more in connection with our heart. Our heart is expanded. Now, Mercury retrograde historically helps us reflect and look, but this season is completely different. This Mercury retrograde is more so about other people missing you, other people popping up back into your life and wanting to be in your presence because they can feel the expansion that has happened throughout Cancer season. They can feel the expansion that is now happening with you coming into the fullness of yourself and standing on stage. So, Mercury retrograde is saying, okay, the past is now going to resurface. And it's going to resurface in such a way that is showing you how far you've come. It's showing you how far you've grown. It's showing you how much you have expanded. And it's showing you how people from your past or people that are in your current have either expanded and grown with you or have not. And so instead of our Mercury retrograde in the past, which is revealing things that we need to like make changes to and traumas that we need to release and trying to reclaim old energy, this season still has a making sure that whatever from the past pops up doesn't take us off kilter because we've done so much expanding in our heart's ability to hold that if something from the past that was a trigger pops up, we now have the tools to regulate our nervous system. And so Mercury is asking, hey, you've done all this work. I'm going to resurface some things that normally would trigger an older version of you. It still may trigger you, but you are given the opportunity to process it differently. And based upon all of the work that you did, how are you now processing it? So the reflection is not, oh, what's missing? What do I need to heal? What do I need to transmit? Da, 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 da. The reflection is more so now, aha, I see this crack, or I see this trauma it's triggering. I see what these old things are coming up and trying to do. And because I've expanded so much, I've grown so much. I now have different tools that I didn't have before to process, release, and move forward. And you'll notice that during this time, you've probably already seen it, multiple stuff pop up. And you may have even noticed that you're moving through them much quicker. Like you're noticing the things that have popped up quickly, and then you're moving through processing and releasing that Eight of Cups energy. Eight of Cups talks about being fine with detaching from old things and walking away into a new horizon, a new way of life, just moving forward, right? So that's what we've been given the opportunity to really see. This retrograde is helping us see, yo, we've come so far. And yes, triggers may still come, but the way you and I and the generality of this world processes them now, because of all the expansion that has taken place with Jupiter, the way we process them and move through our emotions and old triggers is completely different. A part of this is connecting to the spiritual communication. Our Mercury is the planet of communication. So, one of the things that I titled our live is spiritual communication during this Mercury retrograde. Let me know, y'all, if I'm speeding through this too fast. If you got questions, drop them down. Let me know. I know I'm going pretty quickly. So, the spiritual communication during this Mercury retrograde season. Throughout all of that expansion, you also expanded your own ability to connect deeper to your spirit team and your highest of highest selves. In that expansion, you not only have like expanded how easily you can tap into your spirit realm, but you've expanded how quickly you receive, process, and implement the support tools that have been given to you from your spirit team, from your highest self, from source, which is you, your highest of highest selves. So, as Mercury is the planet of communication, and it is the planet of communication that currently is in retrograde, seemingly moving backwards, it's giving us the opportunity to have conversations with our spirit team and our highest selves around how we are processing these old things. And when we have those conversations, and sometimes it doesn't even necessarily feel like a 12-12. Wow, as I said that. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily feel like I am like sitting down in meditation to talk to my highest self and my guides. A lot of times it's happening in the background. It's happening like very quickly within your mind where you have like, you notice a trigger, you have a moment, it's like, ooh, that triggered me. I felt that. And then you have this internal dialogue that helps you process, regulate, and move forward. That internal dialogue is the spiritual communication, is the spiritual communication that this Mercury retrograde is also highlighting. It's helping us see, yo, your connection to your highest self, to source, you on the hotline, bro. Like it's like a text message, a quick call where you just, oh yeah, that's right. Oh, that's why. Okay, cool. Bet. Bad. I didn't even real. Oh, yep. You're right. I felt that. Okay, all right. I'm gonna just let that go because that don't bother us no more. Click, and then you do move on with your day. So my question to you, which is a part of our journal prompting moment right now, is what has my highest self been communicating to me right now? Because in this retrograde, and the communication is happening much faster because you've grown so much and you're used to tapping into that energy, the communications are happening quickly. Sometimes when communications happen quickly, we might have the moment where we miss that it happened. So I want us to just take a moment to pause and see, what messages have I been receiving from my spirit team as I've been moving through detaching, noticing the triggers, noticing, oh, I saw the trigger. It don't necessarily affect me like that no more. I'm just going to keep moving now. There's still a piece of communication that is taking place between you and your highest of highest selves. So, what is that communication? And what does that mean for you? So I'd like for us to take 1444. Look at that. I love the times, baby. I'd like for us to take let's say maybe 5 minutes to think through what are some things that the highest self has brought forward for us? And then we'll go into the next part of our live session. So go ahead, grab your journal and take some time to reflect. I'm going to drop the question in the chat, and it says, what is my highest self trying to communicate with me right now? Okay, 5 minutes on the clock. I'm going to grab my journal. I'll be right back. We've got about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. One more minute and 30 seconds left. All right, 30 more seconds. So go ahead and start wrapping up. Okay. So, one of the things that popped up for me during this journaling exercise was when you are reflecting with Mercury retrograde, and specifically in this one, it's showing us how far we've come. This is also the opportunity to celebrate yourself, to really just like pat yourself on the back, boop, 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 because you have come so far. And sometimes with retrogrades, we get into this like, woe is me, or I gotta work through this trauma and redo this. And I'm seeing these cracks in these old relationships, and old people are popping up, and oh my gosh, I gotta deal with them and all these things. But because this retrograde is so focused on showing you how far you've come, how far you've grown, how far you have expanded with that Jupiter energy, it's also encouraging us to celebrate the sheer fact that you have come so far, that you've traversed so many things. So, in the reflection of seeing, like, especially like when old people pop up and you see, yo, I am so no longer in that mindset that you are in, or that I used to be in with you when we were hanging out, or whatever the case may be. Like, you see it. And in seeing that, you need to celebrate yourself. Like, just really celebrate yourself. So, this next prompt is about how can you celebrate yourself? Because Mercury has shown you some things and shown you how you have expanded. So, first, I'd like for you to take some time to think, okay, how has Mercury retrograde shown me my expansion? And how can I now celebrate me expanding? Okay, two questions. Part A: how has Mercury retrograde shown me my expansion? And I'm typing it into the chat right now. How has Mercury retrograde shown me where I have expanded? And shoot, how can I celebrate? How can I celebrate? And how can I celebrate? How can I celebrate myself? Okay. So let's do that. Let's take, I think another, was 5 minutes enough? Do you guys need more time? Drop it in the chat if you need more time, or is 5 minutes enough? All right. Seems like 5 minutes is enough. And if we get to the end of 5 minutes and you're like, Zaya, I need one more minute, then we'll do that. Okay. So I'm going to start the timer. Give me one moment. Again, the prompt is in the chat. All right, 5 minutes on the clock. Again, how has Mercury retrograde grade shown you where you have expanded, and how can you celebrate yourself? 5 minutes. We've got about a minute left, but I know I need at least another 3 minutes because I'm just now finishing the How Has Mercury Retrograde shown me, where I've expanded. So I'm gonna add another 3 minutes on the clock for us to. I mean, well, let me know, y'all. Do you need another? Yeah, I'm seeing yes in the chat. Okay, I'm not the only one. So let's take. I'm gonna add another 3 minutes to the clock for us to finish up. All right, we've got about 30 seconds left, so go ahead and start wrapping that up. Okay, there is the timer. So, did anybody have like a moment of like feeling like it was kind of challenging to write out what are some ways you wanted to celebrate yourself? I mean, if you didn't, kudos to you, boo. Okay, but if you did, you ain't alone. Because I think also part of this retrograde time is showing us too how to even more deeply show ourselves self love. How, because celebrating yourself is a form of self love. It's a form of showing up for yourself and showing others, not showing others, showing you that you care so much about you that you about to celebrate you no matter when, no matter how. And so when we have that moment of like, ooh, how do I want to celebrate myself? How can I celebrate myself? And it feel a little challenging to come up with those things. I think that's also Mercury retrograde being like, hey, Have you been celebrating yourself? That reflection of, because if you were celebrating yourself often enough, you'd have a whole list of celebration ways to celebrate. And so that's just, I will share that is my own personal reflection from that question. I just found myself being like, how do I want to celebrate myself? And and having this moment of like, oh, it took a little bit longer than I anticipated to come up with those answers. Why? Anyway, so anybody want to share some things that came up? No, what's the word I'm looking for? No stress about sharing, but type in the chat what might have came up for you around the first question, how Mercury retrograde has shown you how much you've expanded. Okay, I'm seeing mindset has shifted. Great, that's amazing. How well your nervous system regulates now when something triggers you. Oh my gosh, it's great. What else? Anybody else? Jade said, unafraid to be seen and not shrinking anymore. These are great. Yes. I love it. I love it. All right. And what about celebrating yourself? How can you celebrate yourself? I really encourage you guys to drop this in the chat because I know I may not have been the only one who had a pause and wondering how they wanted to celebrate themselves. So the more ways that you can share with the community how you celebrate yourself, it can help others think about ways to celebrate themselves. So please do write down in the chat what are some common ways that you intend to celebrate yourself. Because we got to celebrate these big wins that Mercury retrograde is showing us, that our spirit team and our guides and our highest self is showing us through our own spiritual communication. And this is a form of spiritual communication. Okay? Don't miss it. Dance party. Yes. Affirmations in the mirror that are I think you didn't finish that. Okay, affirmations in the mirror that are celebratory. Can you give it like an example? I would love an example of that. Okay, the example is telling yourself in the mirror, you're doing a great job. I'm proud of you. Yes, I love that. That's a great one. I have dance party written on mine too. Like I have a celebration playlist that I will play and dance, and I call my guides and my ancestors and my inner child and everybody, honey. I'd be like, come on in, baby. Come on in and dance, my honey. Because we celebrating. So yeah, that's one. I do the dance party too. And if you don't have a celebration playlist, go ahead and think about creating one of those. One of the songs on my celebration playlist is Celebrate Good Times. Come on. Let's celebrate. It's a celebration. It's a party going on right here. Celebration to last throughout the years. Okay. So get your celebration playlist going and dance with that mug. One of the things that I put was having a fancy fresh fruit and vegetable meal. I really like food that looks aesthetically pleasing. And fresh fruits and vegetables are always like, since they're so high vibrational, I feel like that is celebration for me to be ingesting high vibrational foods. So a celebratory thing would be to have a yummy, high vibrational food meal. That's for me. So anyways, I love those. Thank you guys for sharing. All right, so we are coming to the end of our live session today. And as a recap, this season has not been about what are the things that I still haven't healed from the past, right? This season is Mercury retrograde, and honestly, many of the Mercury retrogrades that we will interface with moving forward because of how much we've grown and how much the planets have shifted throughout the zodiac and causing us to elevate not just our emotional walk, our body, our mental capabilities, and also our spiritual powers, because we've evolved and ascended so much recently throughout all of these changes. And it's not just that Mercury and the planets have done this type of work, it's you making the choice to do it, whether consciously or unconsciously. Your soul and your spirit and your connection to your own spirit team has been guiding you and dropping little breadcrumbs along the way that you have been picking up. Whether or not you realize it or not, you have been on this trajectory of getting to this place where you can see, oh snap, I've come so far. And so the Mercury retrogrades from here on out are going to be in that way. It's going to be the reflection of, okay, remember last year when you was with Zaya in the thing and you saw that you what is it? Jade said that her mindset had shifted so much. A year from now, or whenever the next Mercury retrograde is, you may do some reflecting, and Mercury shows you, guess what? You have shifted even further than you did when you had that live with Zaya. And so it's going to continually be about, how have I grown? How easy is it for me to move forward and do what I need to do and process old things and not let old triggers or wounds actually take me off of my center? And that's really a beautiful blessing that I think sometimes we may overlook. Is reflection helps us see where we've grown and how we've expanded. And then in knowing that and seeing that expansion, you're also able to say, aha, I'm so proud of myself. And I have so much room to invite such good, yummy, delicious things, opportunities, people's connections into my life. So I just want to congratulate you for the work that you've been doing. And that's it, my loves. I will see you next month for our next live. And, I'm always dropping some new juicy nuggets into the portal. So don't forget to look at those. But until next time, love ya. Boy.